I think in our last class we have discussed about radius of curvature, that is a part on circular motion, and we have seen that how we can find the radius of curvature of any path by using simple formula r is equal to v square by an, where an is the normal or centripetal acceleration of that particle that is always perpendicular to the velocity. And we have already discussed this question. I think a particle is projected from ground with velocity u at angle theta. Find its radius of curvature where its velocity vector makes phi with horizontal. Have we discussed this question in our class?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's move to the next one. A particle is projected from ground with such a velocity that its horizontal component is u. Its trajectory is followed by a drone. At the topmost point of the trajectory, it is found that the speed of the drone is v and the rate of change of its speed is 40 meter per second square. Find the acceleration of the drone at that instant if v by u is root 3. I think we were discussing that question in last class, but I have given you as this question as your homework. Have you done this question at your home? Have you tried to solve it? Anyone? All right. Let us try to understand that if I project a particle, the particle will follow this path, right? That is a projectile motion. The particle will follow this simple path. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and if I project with some velocity such that its horizontal velocity, horizontal component of the velocity is u. Just tell me, what can I say about the radius of curvature at its topmost point? The velocity of the particle will be still u. What is the acceleration of the particle at
G.
this point? G. Yes. G acting downward. This is the acceleration of the particle at this point. Then what is the radius of curvature of that projectile at this instant? What is the radius of curvature of the projectile? Can anyone say that? What is the radius of curvature? It is u square by g. Yes. Because u and g, they are perpendicular. So I can easily use that g is nothing but the normal acceleration at this instant. Right. Now forget about this particle. Now come to this drone. So there is a drone that is basically following the same path followed by the early previous particle, right? So if I draw the same path, then you will see that the drone, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and now there is a drone that is following this path, and I do not know what is the acceleration of the drone. I do not know what is velocity of the drone at every point, but only I know that at this point the velocity of the drone is v, and in which direction the velocity of the drone must be at this point. Can I say that the velocity of the drone is also the tangential to that path? Because every particle that follows a particular path, the velocity is always tangential. Now, can I also say that the radius of curvature at this instant by this trajectory or by the motion of the drone can be written as v square by g? Is that statement true or false? I have said that if you follow the motion of the drone, then at the topmost point I know the velocity of the drone is v. So can I in a similar manner say that the radius of curvature of the same path at the topmost point is v square by g? Is that statement true or it is false? Yes, good. The acceleration of the drone is not g, definitely, as the drone is moving in some other way, some other method is there, the drone is following, and there are not only gravitational force acting on the drone, there may be some other forces. I am not actually considering the forces, but I am telling that the acceleration of the drone definitely is not g at this instant. So I can say that the acceleration of the drone may be in any arbitrary direction, and let us assume it to be n. Then I cannot say that radius of curvature is v square by g. But if the normal component or the radial or centripetal component of that acceleration is an and tangential acceleration is at, then what can I say about the radius of curvature by the motion of the drone? Now what can I say about the radius of curvature?
V square by
V
V square by
an. Good. As a radius of curvature, the drone, from the point of view of the motion of the drone, I have got it is v square by an, and by analyzing the motion of the particle in previously, I have calculated it u square by g. Now can I say that both the radius of curvatures are same or the radius of curvatures are different? Both must be same, because what is the reason behind that? Yes, because both are following the same trajectory. So from this equation, u square by g is equal to v square by an, can I find the normal acceleration? Just calculate what is the value of this. Yes. If I take g is 10, then it is 30 meter per second square.
30.
Now I have to find what is the actual acceleration of the drone, and I know that what is tangential acceleration of the drone. Do I know that?
40. 40.
40. How? Because it is given that rate of change of speed is 40. Yes, that is nothing but the tangential acceleration. Now it is very easy to calculate. What is the net acceleration of the drone now? 50. Yes, the net acceleration is 50 meter per second square. That should be the answer of this question. I guess you have understood this question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Now we will move to the next topic, that is the last topic to study in our chapter kinematics. In kinematics lecture number 10, we will study relative motion. Relative motion, we will study and we will apply the concept of relative motion when more than one particles are moving simultaneously. Till now, we have solved the questions when only one particle was moving. We have found all the aspects of the motion of the particle, be it one dimensional, two dimensional, or means any with constant acceleration or variable acceleration. Now we can find we can actually analyze the motion. But now what will happen if more than one particles, 2, 3, 4 different number of particles are moving simultaneously? Then the question may seem to be complicated to solve. But by the concept of the relative motion, these questions can be easily solved, right? For example, if I say that now suppose two projectiles are projected, right? One projectile is projected at an angle 30 degree, another is projected at an angle 60 degree, right, towards each other. Now if I ask you what is the minimum separation between them, when this minimum separation will occur, so different things I can ask about the motions of both the particles together. And if you try to analyze this type of questions where both the particles are moving, and if you try to analyze it from a single observer who is at rest on the ground, then the question will get complicated, right? So what do we have for the solution? We have that relative motion. To understand the relative motion, let us assume that this is the xy plane and two particles are situated at two different position vectors. The observer is at origin. Here the observer is lying. Observer is at origin, but with respect to the observer, A and B are the two particles, and at this instant, suppose at t equal to 0, the position vectors are RA and RB. Their velocities may be different. Suppose A is moving with some velocity VA and B is moving with some velocity VB. Also, their accelerations may be different. Suppose this is the acceleration of A and this is the acceleration of B. I have taken any arbitrary direction for the acceleration and velocities. Now, if I ask you the same question that is not related with the observer at ground, that is only related with the motion of the particles A and B, that what is the minimum separation between A and B, when the minimum separation will occur, right? What is the velocity A will see with B is moving, right? What is the acceleration A will observe of the B? So there are several things I can ask which is only related with the motion of A and B. Then what I will do, then I will shift my observer from here to any one of the particles. You can take any one of the particles to be at rest. So if I say that I will study here, I will study all the motions of B with respect to A. B with respect to A. Then you need to understand one thing. Whenever you are using this term with respect to, that means that this one particle A is at rest. A will be at rest. A stationary observer, you can observe, you can now assume A to be a stationary observer. Now the question comes that if A is actually moving, then how can I make A to be at rest? So the answer is that if you say that A is moving with some velocity VA, then how can I make A to be at rest? Then I will subtract a vector from A that is the same VA. Yes or no? If I add minus VA with the velocity of A, then A will be at rest. As I have added a minus VA with the velocity of A, then throughout the question, you have to add this minus VA vector to every other vectors. Like velocity of B is VB here. So how do I write the velocity of B with respect to A? Then I will add another minus VA with this VB, and then I will say that velocity of B with respect to A is given by this vector diagram, the addition of VB and minus VA. That I have drawn you graphically, but again I can show you these things mathematically. For example, here you can see from this diagram I can say that what is the position vector of B with respect to A. Can you tell me what is position vector of B with respect to A from this given diagram?
RB minus RA.
Yes, that is represented by the vector RBA, and I can say that position vector of B with respect to A, position vector of B with respect to A is nothing but position vector of B minus position vector of A, right? So that is RBA, position vector of B with respect to A. Now what is this RB and RA, with what respect I have calculated this value RB and RA? What is the reference here in calculating RB and RA? Origin or ground, right? Observer origin is always at rest, or the observer is on the ground, right? So this is a ground observer, the observer on the ground. So whenever I will ask you to find the acceleration or velocity, if I do not mention with respect to someone else, then always remember that I am asking you to find the acceleration or velocity with respect to ground only. Now if I simply differentiate this thing, if I differentiate this thing, then this term, then what I will get? dr by dt, that is equal to drb by dt minus dra by dt, right? So what can I say about this drb dt? What is ddt of rb a, rba? What is ddt of rba? Can I say it is velocity of b with respect to a? What is ddt of rb? Can I say it is velocity of b and minus velocity of a, right? You can see that velocity of b with respect to a is equal to velocity of b minus velocity of a. Similarly, what is acceleration of b with respect to a? I can say it is acceleration of b minus acceleration of a. Now these equations that I have written, you have to understand that all these equations I have written with their proper vector signs, right? So you can use these equations in any type of motion, be it 1D, 2D, 3D, any type of motions you can use these equations. If they are in one-dimensional motion, then the vector addition or subtraction is very simple. If they are in two-dimensional motion, or if in one-dimensional motion also, it may happen that A is moving in some direction and B is moving in some other direction. So whenever you will find that VA and VB, they are lying in different directions, or AB, they are lying in different directions, you will add them or subtract them just like a vector, right? And after calculating these vectors, if you find that VAB or VBA or ABA, these relative terms, they are also constant, then you can use all the equations of motion under constant acceleration or constant velocity that earlier we have studied, right? So all the motions equations, they are also valid for the relative values also. For example, you can definitely write SAB, delta SAB is equal to UAB T plus half AB T square. Can I write this equation? Can you tell me before writing this equation, what is the condition that I can write this equation?
Acceleration is constant.
Is acceleration constant, or which one is should be constant here?
Acceleration of A with respect to B is constant.
Yes, acceleration of A with respect to B is constant. And what is UAB? What is UAB?
Initial velocity of A with respect to B.
Initial velocity of A with respect to B. And what is SAB?
The displacement means the position of A with respect to B.
Delta S means displacement. Yes, delta S means displacement. If you omit this displacement sign, you have to put another thing, it is S naught AB, right? So what is S naught AB? What is S naught AB?
The initial behavior between them.
Initial position of A with respect to B, right? Suppose B is at 6 meter and A is at 2 meter. So what is initial position of A with respect to B? Can you tell me? If A and B are lying along x-axis and B is at 6 meter, A is at 2 meter, then what is S naught AB?
-4.
Minus 4. Yes, minus 4, right? As this is x-axis, I have said this is B at 6 and A is at plus 2, right? So the position of A with respect to B will be in this direction, that will be minus 4, and that SAB is definitely displacement of A with respect to B in a time function. I can write this equation, right? So before writing this equation, you have to check whether AAB is constant or not. How do I find AAB? So these are the equations that I can find the relative terms, right, with which I can find the relative values. Okay, I think it is clear to all of us, and it will be more clear as we move on, and we will practice few questions. There are lots of questions of relative motion, as it is the last topic, so different things that can be merged together and you can find questions on relative motion, right? So let's see what do we have. It is written here the same thing that I have told you. In relative motion, when two or more particles move, we take any one of them to be at rest. Suppose A and B are moving with velocities with respect to ground, VA and BB, and accelerations A and AB respectively. Then if we observe the situation with respect to B, we can write the following equations. VAB is VA minus VB, AAB is AA minus AB. If velocities or accelerations do not lie along the same line, we will use the vector subtraction or vector addition. Right? That is very common thing that we have only discussed earlier. Now we will try to solve few numerical questions, and through those numerical questions only we will learn more about relative motion. Can we just try to solve this one? Question says two particles A and B are moving along same straight line. Initial velocity of A is 4 meter per second and B is 0, where A moves with constant velocity. B moves with constant acceleration of 2 meter per second square. Initially B was 6 meter ahead of A. Find the minimum separation of A and B and also the time when it will happen. Okay. Here you can also take the direction. Let me give you the direction. This is 4 meter I cap, this is 2 meter per second square I cap, right? And A and B were along the same straight line. You can assume this to be x-axis, right? Also from in the same equation,
So time equals to 2 seconds and
yes,
the minimum separation is 2 meters. Yes, sir.
yes, good. Draw the ST graph. Draw the ST graph where S is position of B with respect to A. Right. So in order to solve this question, let us assume that what are the initial velocity and acceleration that is given in your question. So let us first try to note down the values given. Initial velocity of A.
So the graph will be a upward parabola and it will never intersect the x-axis. It will just decrease from 6 to 2 at t equals to 2 seconds and then again
Yes,
increase.
yes, good.
Increasing function.
Yes, good. So UA, what is UA? Initial velocity of A, it is 4 meter per second I cap. What is UB? Initial velocity of B, it is 0. What is acceleration of A? It is 0. And what is acceleration of B? It is 2 I cap. So first I will calculate the relative terms, right? The relative values. Can you calculate what is initial velocity of B with respect to A? What is initial velocity of B with respect to A? What is this one?
-4.
-4. Yes, -4. What is acceleration of
So your
B?
voice is broken.
Am I audible to all of you? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear. It was breaking earlier.
All right, no problem. So what is acceleration of A B with respect to A? How can I find that? It is acceleration of B minus acceleration of A. So what will be that value? Just tell me what is acceleration of b with respect to a. After calculation, what you will get? 2 I cap, yes. Then I can use this formula, s equal to position of b with respect to a, that is equal to initial position is 6, right, plus ut, u is minus 4, minus 40, plus half a t square. Half a t square means 2 and half will get cancel out, so plus t square, right. 6 minus 40 plus t square. So that is the function, and I can plot this function easily. We have seen how to plot parabolic function in earlier classes. We have seen that. So the function will be an upward parabola, right? Where will be its symmetrical line? The symmetrical line will lie at minus b by 2a, right? Minus b by 2a. A is 1 and b is minus 4. So minus b by 2a is plus 2, right? So it will be an upward parabola, and a symmetrical line will be at plus 2. This is the symmetrical line. So this is time function, this is s, position. At t equal to 2 seconds, this is the minimum. And what is the minimum value? How can I find that? If you put t equal to 2 here, then you will get that it is minus 6 minus 8 minus 2 plus 4, that is 2. So 2 meter is the minimum separation between them. Is this question clear to all of us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Try to solve this one. Here 3 particles are there. A, B, C are 3 objects, each moving with constant velocity. A's speed is 10 meter per second in the direction PQ. Velocity of B relative to A is 6 meter per second at angle cos inverse 15 by 24 to PQ. Velocity of C relative to B is 12 meter per second in a direction of PQ. Okay, here you just write it is minus PQ, right, in the direction of minus PQ. Here there is a printing mistake here, it should be minus PQ. Then find the magnitude of the velocity of C. Find the magnitude of the velocity of C. Just try once. Let us assume this is a PQ line. PQ line may be any direction. I can assume this to be x-axis also, no problem. Any direction can be assumed to be PQ line. Velocity of A is along PQ 10 meter per second. So what can I say about the velocity of A? So velocity of A, can I write it is 10 I cap? According to this convention that PQ is along x-axis, I can say that velocity of A is 10 I cap. Now it says that the velocity of B with respect to A is 6 meter per second at angle theta, where theta is given, that cos theta is 15 by 24, 5 by 8, right? So let us assume that velocity of B with respect to A is this one. What is this velocity? B with respect to A, and this angle is theta. So this is the velocity of A in this direction. Velocity of A is there, and this is the velocity of B with respect to A. Now what is the velocity of B?
Sir, is the answer 5?
Yes, the answer will be 5. Just try to understand how we can find the velocity of B when VBA and VA are given. We can use the simple formula that velocity of B with respect to A is nothing but velocity of B minus velocity of A. Then from this function, from this equation, can I write what is velocity of B? Can you say that velocity of B is velocity of A plus velocity of B with respect to A? Both are given in your question. In a very similar way, it is given that velocity of c with respect to b is minus 12 I cap, as it is along minus pq. So it is given in your question that velocity of c with respect to b is minus 12 I cap. So what is velocity of c with respect to v? It is velocity of c minus velocity of b. That is equal to minus 12 I cap. Right? Now what is velocity of c then? I can say it is velocity of b minus 12 I cap. What is velocity of b? I will put the velocity of b from this expression. This is velocity of a plus velocity of b with respect to a minus 12 I cap. Now velocity of a is again 10 I cap. So it is 10 minus 12 is minus 2 I cap plus vba. So if I have to find the resultant of these two vectors, then I can find what is the magnitude of the velocity of c. Can I say that is equal to under root of velocity of c is under root of 2 square plus VBA is 6. The magnitude of VBA is 6 given in your question, plus 6 square plus 2 into 6 into what is the angle between this minus 2 I cap and this VBA vector? Cos of 180 minus theta. Cos of 180 minus theta is how much? Minus cos theta. So this value is minus cos theta, which is 15 by 24, right? 15 by 24 is 5 by 8, right? So now what should be the answer of this one? Six square, 2 into 6 into 5 by 8. So that is not, is it 5 by 8? 3, yes, 5 by 8. So 2, I don't think, is it coming 5? 4 plus 36.
Coming 5.
Yes.
24. That will be 15 by 24. The cos theta.
Cos theta is 15 by 24.
So it is 5 by 8 only.
Yes, 15 by 24 is 5 by 8.
So 2ab cos theta.
Yes, 2.
Okay, there is another 2. Yes, 2ab cos theta. There, yes. I have taken this 2. So this is 2ab cos theta. Yes. So that is minus 15, I think. So that will be root 25. That is 5 meter per second. So that should be the answer of this question. Right. So these equations are only very useful. Several times we will use these equations, not in this chapter only, in laws of motion or in other chapters also. We will frequently use these relative motion equations. All right. Okay, before coming to this question, just try to solve this one.
Yes, sir, 1 by root.
Okay. As you can see here in this question that two objects are moving. One is the ball, another is the inclined plane. And again, it is very simple call that we will take the inclined plane to be at rest, right? So if you take that inclined plane to be at rest, then with respect to the inclined plane, I will find all the initial vectors and the acceleration, whatever it may be, right? So what are the actual vectors with respect to ground given in your question? That the acceleration of the wedge or the inclined plane, I will write it wedge W. Acceleration of the wedge is 10 meter per second square I cap, or sorry, J cap. If I assume the upward direction to be y axis, right? Let us assume that upward direction to be my y axis and this horizontal direction, this direction to be my x axis, right? Any direction you can take your x and y axis. So I can say acceleration of the wedge is 10 J cap. Can you tell me what is acceleration of the ball after it is projected? What is
So
acceleration
after
of the ball?
it is only minus 10J.
G.
Minus, yes,
The
it is
minus
minus
10J.
10G. Right, remember that once you project something from any platform or any wedge, if there is no contact in between them, then it will have no impact on that. Only gravitational force will act on it, right? For example, if you are if you are inside a lift, then your acceleration is governed by the lift, right? That whatever may be the acceleration of the lift, your acceleration will be the same, right? But once you are not in contact with the lift, then lift will have no effect on your acceleration. Similarly
So
is the case. Yes.
so that means the any particle that is projected from any accelerated platform or any moving platform, it will maintain the status of motion of the time it was last time in contact with that platform.
State of motion means only the velocity will be taken, not the
Yes, sir.
acceleration. Yes,
Sir,
yes.
not the acceleration, only the
Yes,
velocity.
only velocity will be taken, right? What I am trying to say, that suppose a train is moving with a velocity 10 meter per second, right, in positive x direction. You just visualize the situation that now you are throwing a ball. Throwing means you are just dropping a ball. You are just dropping a ball from the window of the train, right? Let me again give you the situation that a train is moving with 10 meter per second with some acceleration, say 15 meter per second square in the same direction, and you have a ball in your hand which you are dropping at t equal to 0. So just after t equal to 0 you drop the ball, there is no contact of the ball and the train or you. So what the acceleration of the ball will be with respect to ground, the acceleration of the ball will be, now what is it, 15 or 10?
So 10.
10,
10
yes,
only.
it is minus 10. It is only gravitational acceleration that will act on the ball. Once you drop the ball, there is no acceleration that is provided by the train that can come to the ball. But if I ask
So
you, yes,
so only it will gain the horizontal velocity
yes,
of the train the when it was
yes,
projected.
yes, just after the projection, just after releasing the ball, if I ask you what is the initial velocity of the projection of the ball, initial velocity of the ball with respect to the ground, then
The
whatever the
velocity of the
velocity
train
of
at
the
that.
train at that instant was, that was 10 meter per second, will be the velocity of the ball, right? Because ball cannot come instantaneously to be at rest, right? It is the actual property of inertia that it was moving with with some velocity, say 10 meter per second, it will continue its velocity and in this direction, right? As there is no force in that direction, so it will continue with 10 meter per second in positive x-axis only. But in downward direction, now its acceleration will be g. There is no other acceleration on that ball you have to consider. In a very similar way, as the inclined plane is there, which is moving upward with 10 meter per second square acceleration, as soon as I project this ball, now the acceleration of the ball is simply minus 10 j cap. Now if I ask you what is the acceleration of the ball with respect to the wedge, then what I will get?
So 20 minus 20 J
Minus 20 J.
Sir,
Minus
minus
20
20
j.
cap.
20 J.
Yes, it is AB minus AW, which is minus 20 j cap. And in your question, it is already given that what is initial velocity of ball with respect to the wedge? Is it given in your question? What is initial velocity of the ball with respect to the wedge?
10 I minus 10 I.
Yes, according to my convention, it is plus x-axis, so it is plus
10 cap.
10 I cap, right? Look, in this given, it is given that with respect to the wedge, it is 10 meter per second. So it is not that with respect to ground, it is 10 meter per second. It is written that with respect to wedge, it is 10 meter per second. So I can directly write it as UB with respect to the wedge, it is 10 I cap. Now I can use simple projectile motion equations, but instead of acceleration to be minus 10, now I have to use acceleration to be minus 20, because I am looking the situation from a reference frame to the wedge, right? Reference frame of the wedge. So if this is the wedge, then this is the initial velocity of the ball. So this is the ut vector that you can say. This is the ut vector. and the half at square vector is downward, right, coming downward. Half at square vector is coming downward, right? So you can say that this is my ut vector, this is half at square vector, and that is the range of the projectile, right? This is the range of the projectile. This vector is ut vector because u is directly along horizontal direction, so this is 10t vector, and that the magnitude of half at square is equal to 10t square. Half at square is equal to 10t square because a is 20, half a is 10 into t square. This angle is 90 degree, this angle is 30 degree, and this angle is 60 degree, right? So from this triangle it is very easy to understand what is the value of time and what is the value of range. That can also I can find, right? So you can say that tan 30 degree, you can use sine rule also, but I can use tan 30 degree is equal to 10t square divided by 10t. So that is nothing but t. So t is equal to 1 by root 3 second, right? That should be the answer of this question. Have you understood this one?
Sir, option B.
So 15 meters.
15 meter. Yes.
Sir, 15.
So that is also a simple question. You can use the
15.
concept of relative motion. It says for an observer on the trolley, the direction of motion is shown in figure. So that velocity is shown with respect to the trolley, and the trolley is moving with 10 meter per second, right? So if I say that this is the velocity with respect to the trolley, and this is the velocity of the trolley, this is the velocity of the trolley, and this is the velocity of the ball with respect to trolley, right? Then can you tell me how do I find the velocity of ball? How do I find the velocity of ball? I will have to add these two vectors, yes or no? Do you remember
Yes.
this formula? Velocity of ball is velocity of ball with respect to trolley plus velocity of trolley. So I will have to add these two vectors. So when you add these two vectors, actually it is given in your question that when you will add these two vectors, you will find a vector that is actually vertically upward, right? Because for an observer on ground, he will only see velocity of ball, right? The ground observer will only see the velocity of ball. So this is velocity of ball, right? And from this triangle you can say that if this is velocity of ball with respect to trolley, I have just parallelly shifted this vector. This is velocity of trolley and this is velocity of the ball. And what is this angle? This angle is 60 degree given in your question. This angle is 60 degree given in your question. So if this magnitude, if I talk about now magnitude, this value is 10, then what will be the value of this VB? If this is 60 degree, can I say that tan 60 degree is equal to VB modulus of VB divided by 10? Can I use this equation? That is equal to root 3. So what is the velocity of ball actually with respect to ground? You will say that it is 10 root 3 meter per second. That is the velocity of the ball with respect to ground, right? Now I can say that what is the maximum height attained by the ball. Basically now the ball is actually moving upward, right? It is not a projectile motion, it is a simple one-dimensional motion under gravity, right? So you can use that at the topmost point its velocity will be 0. So v square equal to initial velocity is 10 root 3 u square minus 2gh. 2 into g is 10 into h is the maximum height. So for the maximum height you will find it is 100 into 3 divided by 20. right? So that is 15 meter. That should be the answer of this question. Alright, now try to solve this question. It says particles A and B are simultaneously projected from ground at a separation of 10 meter. Their initial conditions of projections are shown in figure. Find the minimum separation between them and also the time when it will happen. So these are two projectile motions. Two projectile motions, they are simultaneously projected from ground, right? So what will be the minimum separation between them? That I have to find. Look, the questions are about two projectile motions, right? So if I assume this to be my x-axis and this to be my y-axis, then I can write down the velocity and acceleration of all the particles, initial velocity and accelerations. Suppose this is particle A and this is particle B. So what is initial velocity of the particle A? Look how I am solving this question. Whenever you will have some relative motion, there is another way of writing this to find the relative terms. You can always take the components of the vectors and write them in common unit vectors, right? So that the addition or subtraction will be very easier in that case. Suppose UA I have to write. So 20, if I break the components, then it will be 12 I cap plus 16 j cap. Yes or no? Similarly, what is UB? Can you tell me what is UB? What I can write about UB?
6 plus 8 j cap.
8 I minus 8 I cap plus 6 j cap, I think.
Yes, sir.
Minus 8 I cap plus 6 j cap. That is the initial velocity of B. What about the acceleration of the particles? What is acceleration of A? It is minus 10 j cap. And what is acceleration of B? Is it also minus 10 j cap? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
As both the particles are moving under gravity, then both of them are having the same acceleration, and that simplifies your solution of this question. That acceleration of B with respect to A, if I now, which one I have taken at rest? I have taken A to be at rest, right? And I am observing the motion of B with respect to A. So acceleration of B with respect to A is 0. If acceleration is 0, then can you tell me what type of motion the of B will perform with respect to A? What type of motion you will see? A linear one-dimensional motion with constant velocity. As acceleration is 0, then velocity will also remain the constant. Yes or no? Now what is the initial velocity of B with respect to A? That I can find by UB minus UA. So that is minus 20 I cap minus 20 I cap minus 10 j cap,
Yes, thank you.
right? So UB with respect to A. Now if you try to just imagine that how the particle A will look, the motion of the particle B. A is here, then with respect to A, B is actually moving in this direction. Yes, B is actually moving in this direction. Minus 20 minus 10, minus 20 minus 10, UBA, and that is a constant. You can see there is no acceleration. So B with respect to A, now A is the observer and B is moving along this straight line, right? If this angle is theta, which I can easily find, then what is the minimum separation between them? How do I find the minimum separation between them? Is that the minimum separation between them? This d distance that I have written, is this the minimum separation between them?
10 sin theta.
Yes, the perpendicular distance I will draw from A to the line. That is the minimum separation. So this d is equal to 10 sine theta, right? And you can see that what is theta, tan theta, it is 20 and this is 10. So you can directly say what is tan theta. What is tan theta here? 1 by 2. Tan theta is 1 by 2. Then what is sec square theta? Sec square theta is 1 plus tan square theta. That means 5 by 4. Right? So what is cos theta? Cos theta is 2 by root 5 and sin theta is equal to 1 by root 5. Sin theta is equal to 1 by root 5. So the answer should be 10 by root 5. That is 10 by root 5. You can say it is 5 into 2. So 2 root 5. That should be the answer of this question.
So time equals to 2 by 5 seconds and expression 2 root 5.
Now, how do I find the time? How do I get the time when it will happen? How much distance B will travel with respect to A in order to reach at this point? How much distance B will travel?
UBA into D.
This distance is equal to, you can say it is, yes, UBA into T, or you can say it is 10 cos theta also. Yes or no? And this 10 cos theta, it has traveled with a constant or uniform velocity with respect to A. I am talking in that entire situation with respect to A only, right? So I can find that time is equal to 10 cos theta divided by modulus of UBA. That is 10 into 2 by root 5, and modulus of UBA is 10 root 5, I think. Yes or no? So 10 will get cancelled out, so it is 2 by 5 second. That should be the answer of this question. So now try this question. Here two particles A and B are moving along xy axis respectively. A moves with constant velocity v1 and B moves with constant velocity v2. At t equal to 0, A was found at minus m comma 0 and B was found at 0 comma minus n, both moving towards origin. Find the minimum separation between them and the time when it will happen. X axis, this is y axis. I will solve this question by only using relative motion concept. This is x axis, y axis, and at some instant, suppose the particles are here and here. This is the particle A and this is the particle B. Anywhere here. Suppose this is the particle B at this instant. And it is given that both are moving towards origin with v1 and v2 velocity. So this velocity is v1 or va, you can say v1, or this velocity is v2. Right, now again we understand that to find the minimum separation we have to observe the motion of the another particle with respect to one. So let us assume that we are here to observe the motion of B with respect to A, right? Motion of B with respect to A, that we have to observe here. So what is motion of B with respect to A? In that case, what is velocity of B with respect to A? You can see it is VB minus VA, right? So VB is in this direction and VA is in this direction. So what is VB minus VA? If you try to understand it in a vector, then this is VB vector and this is minus VA vector, right? Minus VA vector. So if you add these two vectors, can I get that this is the VB minus VA vector? Yes or no? if I add these two vector v2 vector and v1 vector minus v1 vector, v2 vector and minus v1 vector, then you will get that this is the vb minus va vector, and let us assume that this vector actually lies along this line. As there is no acceleration, so b with respect to a will only move along this straight path. Right, now forget about all these xy axis. You can say that with respect to a, now a is the observer and b is moving along this straight path, and that is the definite distance. We can easily understand that this distance we have to find, which is the minimum separation between a and b. Right, so in order to find that, how can I find that this distance? I have to drop a perpendicular from a to this line. That is a perpendicular. This is a perpendicular distance. Right, and what is this angle? I can find what is this angle theta. Right, this tan theta is equal to, can I say that tan theta is equal to v1 by v2? Yes or no? Tan theta is equal to v1 by v2. If I know tan theta, I can find what is sec square theta. That is 1 plus tan square theta, means v1 square plus v2 square divided by v2 square. So what is cos theta? Cos theta is equal to v2 by root under v1 square plus v2 square, and sin theta is equal to v1 divided by root under v1 square plus v2 square. Right. Now what is this distance? I know that this distance is n, because the initial position at t equal to 0, b was 0 comma minus n. So if this is n, this is theta, then I can easily find what is this much distance. What is this much distance? I can say that tan theta is equal to, if this distance is suppose L1 or L, then I can say tan theta is equal to L by n. So L equal to n tan theta. L equal to n tan theta. Right. So what is the value of L? I can say it is n v1 by v2. Now I can find what is this value. What is the value of this one? If this entire distance was m, then that is m minus L. Right. And if this angle is theta, then this angle is 90 minus theta. This angle is also 90 minus theta. Then this angle is also theta. So what is the minimum separation? Can I say minimum separation from this triangle? I can say that is equal to d is equal to m minus L into cos theta. That should be the answer of this question. Now what is m minus L? It is m v2 minus n v1 divided by v2 into cos theta. Cos theta is v2 by root under v1 square plus v2 square. Right. So your answer should be m v2 minus n v1 divided by root over of v1 square plus v2 square. Have you got this value?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the minimum separation that I can find, and again you can find the time by calculating this separation only, right? Calculating this distance divided by the resultant value of the velocity. The resultant value is root under of v1 square plus v2 square, right? You can easily find the time. What is this distance? I will just write down the expression. You can solve it or you can modify it. So that expression, this length is m minus L sine theta. This length is m minus L sine theta, right? M minus L sine theta. So m minus L means m v2 minus n v1 divided by v2 into sine theta. Sine theta is v1 divided by root over of v1 square plus v2 square, and this length is n sec theta. This length is n sec theta, right? This length is n sec theta plus n into sec theta. Sec theta we have also calculated. It is root over of v1 square plus v2 square by v2, right? And divided by root under of v1 square plus v2 square. So that should be the time, and you can simplify it by, you can modify it. v2 you can take out denominator, at v1 square you can get cancel, and that will be numerator, that will be, and then you can modify and you can find what is the time. So basically that should be the answer and process how to solve this question. Yes, tell me. Yes,
So can you please repeat the time part?
time, how can I find the time? Look, this point is suppose this point is uh, any point P and this point is any point Q. So can you say that with respect to A, the particle B is actually moving along the line PQ? Can I say that? Yes or no? And
Yes, sir.
and what is the velocity of the particle B with respect to A? Is it constant or variable? Velocity of B with respect to A is a constant or variable?
It's a constant.
Constant. And what is the value of that constant? What is the value?
VB minus VA, that is.
Yes, what is the value? Means magnitude. Magnitude, speed. What is the magnitude? Is it root under v1 square plus v2 square?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I have to only find this length PQ, and then I have divided it with root under v1 square plus v2 square. How do I find the value PQ? Suppose this point is R. So first I have calculated what is QR. This entire part that I have written is nothing but QR, right? What is QR? It is m minus L into sine theta. Can you see from this triangle AQR? Can you see from this triangle AQR that QR is equal to m minus L into sine theta? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So m minus L is I have already calculated here, m minus L. So I have taken the same value as m minus L into sine theta. Already I have calculated sine theta. I have calculated here v1 by root over of v1 square plus v2 square. So I have taken this QR, and then what is the value of PR? Can you tell me what is the value of PR? If this angle is theta, this side is n, can I say PR is nothing but n sec theta? Because PR
Yes, sir.
cos theta is n, so PR is equal to n sec theta. N and sec theta I have got from this equation. Root over of v1 square plus v2 square divided by v2 is PR. So now I have got what is PQ and divided by the value of the speed, then you will find what is the time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Sir,
Yes. Bolo?
sir,
Yes.
sir, here you are assuming that m is greater than n. Can it be that n is greater than m?
Yes, it can be, no problem. There may be that possible that V2 is greater than V1 or V1 is greater than V2. I have assumed in this way, but if it is greater than, one should be negative. So negative means the distance will be in that side. Right?
Sir, distance is always positive, but
Distance,
here we are
yeah.
not sure about the values of m in v2 and v1. So mv2 is
I have
less than-
taken any general thing. I have taken any general arbitrary values. If you say that suppose this velocity of B with respect to A is not along this line, but it is along this line, then also you will drop a perpendicular and you will find the same distance. Right? You will find the same
No,
distance.
sir, I am telling that nv2 minus nv1, it is better that we use a mod for that, because we are not sure that mv2 is
Yes,
less
that
than
you can
nv1.
use. Yes, that you can use. You can always use a modulus of sine, because I am calculating the distance, right? If this is the distance, anywhere the distance may be, but I have to only find the modulus or the magnitude of the distance, right? So I think also this question we have understood. Look, these are only applications of relative motion. I am very much sure you can solve this question by writing other several equations and by differentiating, making it
It's a
0.
turn like coordinate.
Yes, by making it 0 you can also solve it by using mathematical expressions. right? You can definitely solve this question, but again we have to learn how relative motion can help us to solve those questions, right? That is the motto of study relative motion. All right, so we have done lots of questions today. I will give the rest of the questions as your homework. Most of the questions we have done in class only today. We have yes, we have solved this question starting from here. We have solved this one, we have solved this one, this one we have solved, this one done, this one done, this is also done, right? Now this question I will give you as your homework. It needs some time to plot the graphs or other things, so I will give it as your homework. This is also a good question that was a part of JEE Advanced 2014, I think. This question came in JEE Advanced 2014, integer type question. Also again based on the basics of relative motion, right? So these two questions basically I have given you as your homework, and in next class we will talk about